Chapter 8. After the ceremony, there was the usual bunch of photos that seemed to take hours before they were let go to join the guests at the nearby reception. They made their way through the buffet and sat at the head table to eat with the rest of the wedding party. After plates were cleared and some of the tables picked up to make room for dancing, Matt stood. He waited several seconds for the noise of the guests to quiet. Then someone from the band handed him a microphone. "If I can have your attention, please." He watched the guests as they quieted and turned to face him. "I met Steve on our first day of kindergarten. I'm not sure why, but we bonded instantly. Throughout school we were the best of friends. When we got out of high school, we went our separate ways. He joined the Marines while I went to college, but we kept in touch. It wasn't the talk every day thing it had been, but it was enough." He took a deep breath and turned to look at Steve. "When I found out he was with JV, I'll admit, I wasn't happy. I thought he was too old for her, and while I know he's a good guy, he's one of the best I know, I was afraid he'd seen too much darkness to truly appreciate my sister." He turned back to the guests. "But I was wrong. Not only is Steve happier than I've seen him in a lot of years, but so is JV." He turned back to Steve. "I've called you my brother for a long time, now you've made it official. As long as you continue to make her happy, I won't have to hurt you." Everyone laughed. Matt raised his glass. "To a long and happy life together. Welcome to the family." He lifted the glass and took a long drink. Around him, the guests drank as well. Handing the microphone back to the man who'd handed it to him, Matt sat down. The man with the band announced the first dance, and the bride and groom made their way out to the dance floor hand in hand. 4 notes sounded. It sounded like a piano, so it had to have come from the keyboard. The same notes repeated several times, and as the couple faced each other in the middle of the dance floor, a bass guitar joined in, then the rest of the band. Matt recognized the song. A woman he hadn't noticed before moved to the front of the bandstand and began to sing. The words were haunting, and not what one would expect for a first dance, but he'd heard the girls talking about it on the way home. Rebecca and Alex had been trying to talk his sister out of this particular choice. The song was "Need You Now." It was several years old, but it reminded both JV and Steve of the last 10 years. They'd never been involved before that, but they had each felt the mating instinct and had wondered about the other. At the thought of the mating instinct, his eyes went to Alex. Could that possibly be why he was drawn to her? His heart ached. Why couldn't he have had this draw to Connie? Blinking, he pushed the thought away. Now wasn't the time.